All right, it is your core conditioning today. We got 2 circuits that we're gonna work through. Each circuit gets done 3 times. Each move, 30 seconds with a 10-second break in between each exercise. Quick little warm up to get us rocking and rolling. We're gonna start with 10 jumping jacks, whether you wanna do 10 high or 10 low impact jacks. And then once you have done your 10, we're gonna do 5 plank walkouts. So we're gonna get your feet a little bit wider, especially if you're tighter in those hamstrings. Bring your hands down towards the floor. I want you to walk your hands out into a plank position. Come on back, just touch the toes, and then walk it right back out again. Keeping your eyes on the floor. Abs are nice and tight, so keep that belly button pulled up into the spine. And make sure when you walk out, when you get to that end position, that your hips are not up in the air or you're not letting them drop to the floor. Nice, solid, flat back. And once you have done 5 of these plank walkouts, we're gonna stand up and we're going to do 10 total body extensions, and then we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna need 1 dumbbell today for Russian twist. Other than that, everything is body weight. And with the total body extensions, I want you to squat and reach for the ceiling. Here we go. We got 10 of these. Really extending those arms up as much as you can, opening up through the torso. And once you have done 10, we're gonna come down onto the floor. You're gonna grab a seat with your dumbbell. If you want to use, we're starting with the Russian twist. So like I said, we got 30 seconds of work. We're gonna take a 10-second break in between each move. And you would think that I would have my timer set up, and my timer is, oh, that is so weird. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm like, my timer's missing. Okay, so 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Move number 1, like I had said, is the Russian twist. So we're gonna lean back slightly. We're gonna tuck that belly button in to support the lower back. You can keep your feet either on or off the floor, totally up to you. There we go. You guys ready? Here we go. Lean it back, tuck that belly button in. Move your weight from side to side or from hip to hip. Now, if you need to make it a bit more of a challenge, get your feet up and off the floor, totally up to you. The key is to keep those abs nice and tight. We're gonna support that lower back. And once we're done these Russian twists, we're gonna lie right down onto our back. V-sit tucks are coming up next. And I'll show you a few options depending on how hard you wanna make it. All right, so legs straight out. Option 1 is to come up one knee and just lift the shoulders. Option 2 is to sit all the way up, still just grabbing one knee at a time. The next challenging is 2 knees in, coming all the way out. Keeping your back pushed down into that mat, using the abdominals to tuck those knees in. And I do not want you to use the arms to swing the torso up. We're gonna make those abs do all the work. And once we are done these V-sit tucks, we're gonna go back to those walkouts just like how we did in the warm-up. So we're gonna stand up, come to the back of your mat. And again, wider feet, a little bit easier on those hamstrings. Hands come down, we're gonna walk out to the plank. Again, I need you to keep your eyes on the floor for me. Keep that belly button pulled up into the spine. Walk right out into the plank so your shoulders are over those wrists. Your hips are gonna come nice and parallel with the floor. We have 10 seconds left here. And then we're gonna drop down into a plank position on our forearms, either from the knees or the toes. And we're gonna do some plank body saws. So we're on our forearms. Now from the toes, we're gonna rock it forward and back. From the knees, you would simply just hold if going from the toes is too much of a challenge. All right, so let's pop it up, rock it forward and back. And you can take the movement out and simply hold the plank. Knees or toes if you need to make this a bit easier. And I want you to try and push yourself forward as far as you can, keeping that belly button pulled up. Again, watch that those hips don't drop. I only need 5 more seconds. And we're gonna stay down, but pop up into a high plank position. Now this one you can do from either the knees or the toes. So we're on our hands. We're gonna drop down to the forearms, back up onto the hands. Here we go. Same thing can be done from the knees. You got it. Now, if you need to make this even easier, you can elevate your hands up and off the floor. You can use a staircase, a nice solid coffee table, a workout bench. I need 10 more seconds here, and then we flip back over onto our back. In 5, 4, 3, 2, whew. All right, we got some bicycles and then we get to move on. All right, so we're back onto our back. Push your back down, hands behind the head, and we're gonna bring elbow to opposite knee, and then switch. Now, the smaller you keep the legs, the easier it's gonna be to keep your back into the floor. The bigger you make those legs, the harder it is to keep your back pushed down into the floor. You got it. Once we're done these bicycles, we're gonna go right back to the top. We gotta rinse and repeat 2 more times, starting with that Russian twist. So we're gonna grab that dumbbell again if you are using. Perfect. Sit it on up. Grab your weight if you're using one. Feel free to make a weight change if you want to. We're gonna lean it back, tuck that belly button in. You can keep your feet on the floor. You can bring your feet off the floor. Now, if you feel your lower back at any time, I need you to bring your feet down, or you're gonna sit up taller in your posture. All right, I need about 10 more seconds here. We're gonna go back into those V-sit tucks. So remember, you can lift just the shoulders, alternating legs. You can sit all the way up, alternating legs, or you can pull both knees in, sitting all the way up. So you got about 3 different levels to choose from. I want you to start with the hardest level for you, even if you do like 1 rep, and then make it easier as you go to get through those 30 seconds. You got it. But I need you to focus. We're gonna use all those abs to do all the work. We're not swinging ourselves up with the arms. You got it. And once we are done these V-sit tucks, we stand back up. We're gonna go back to those walkouts. 4 seconds. Excellent, come on up. Now with the walkout, if you find walking right out into that plank position is just not happening, just go out as far as you can and make your feet as wide as what's comfortable for you. So again, if you find you're gonna come to about here, and then you're like, yep, that's about it, perfect. Come back, touch the toes, do it again. Over time, as you get stronger through the core and through the upper body, you'll be able to walk it out further into these walkouts. I need about 5 more seconds. We have our plank body saws coming up next. Perfect. So everybody's on their forearms. The plank body saws have to be done from the knee or from the toes. So if you need to make this easier, then simply hold the plank, knees or toes. But I want you to push forward as far as you can and then come on back. Good. Nice big full range of motion, keeping that back nice and flat. Keep that belly button tucked in. You got it. 10 more seconds. We pop it up onto our hands for our up down planks. Those can be done either from the knees or the toes. You can even elevate the hands off the floor for those. Good. And the higher you get the hands off the floor, the easier these plank up downs will be. So let's pop it up onto our hands. We're on our knees or toes. Drop it down onto the forearms. Come on back up. Keep those eyes on the floor for me. Keep that belly button tucked and take your time. There is no rush. There's no set number of reps that you need to do in the 30 seconds. I'd rather you go slow with good form than race through it and being all sloppy with your form and get nothing out of it. I need 4 more seconds. We got those bicycles coming up. All right, quick flip over. So hands behind the head, so we're gonna lift those shoulders, push our back down into the mat. Knees come up, And we're gonna bring elbow to opposite knee. Good, now keep it nice and small to keep it easier. Get those legs nice and big to make it harder. So you got lots of choices here. Make it work for you, make it challenge you. And we gotta go through this circuit one more time before we get to move on. All right, we got less than 10 seconds. We're gonna go back to that Russian twist. Grab your dumbbell if you are using one. And sit it on up for me. Grab your weight, lean it back, tuck that belly button in, and move that weight from hip to hip. Get your feet off the floor if you want to. And if you feel your lower back doing more than it should, I want you to put your feet down onto the floor or sit up taller in that posture. All right, I only need 10 more seconds. We have those V-sit tucks. Remember, you can just lift the shoulders, alternating legs. You can sit all the way up, alternating legs, or sit all the way up, pulling both knees into the chest. All right, weight off to the side. Lie it down. Choose your medicine, 2 legs or 1. Sit all the way up or just lift the shoulders. Here we go, push your back down. Give those knees a nice big hug. And then nice and controlled to come back down onto the floor. Don't just flop down onto the floor like a dead fish. You're gonna use your abs in both directions. I need about 10 more seconds. We get to stand up. We're gonna do our plank walkouts one more time. Good, and 3, 2, perfect, come on up. All right, last time here. Wider feet, easier on those hamstrings. Let's bring those hands down, walk it out into that nice, tall, high plank position. Good, eyes are gonna stay down on the floor. Belly button stays pulled up into the spine. Nice. Last time here. Once we are done these plank walkouts, we're gonna drop down into our plank position on our forearms for those plank body saws. In 4, 3, 2, perfect. Now remember, your alternative to the plank body saw is to simply just hold the plank, knees or toes. So let's get ourselves set up. Pop it up, hips down, belly button in, let's rock it out. So remember, if you're not doing the saw, you're gonna hold either from the toes or from the knees. But if you have not done any plank body saws yet, I'm gonna challenge you to do 1 or 2, and then you can hold to finish off. I need 10 more seconds. We have our up down planks coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, these can be done knees or toes or hands elevated. We're on our hands, forearms, hands. In 3, 2, let's pop it up. Here we go. Good, so keep your abs tight. Squeeze your glutes. It's gonna help keep that nice plank position as you move up and down. You got it. Last time here, we just gotta do those bicycles one more time. We're gonna take a little bit of a bigger break and then we'll move on to circuit number 2. We have less than 10 seconds, come on. In 4, 3, 2, and relax. Nice work. All right, grab a quick drink, roll it back over onto your back when you are ready. We're gonna do 2 moves here. So move number 1, I want you to keep your hands behind the head and I want you to keep your shoulders lifted. We're gonna do 1 glute hip bridge followed by 1 crunch. 1 hip bridge, 1 crunch. From there, move number 2 is we're gonna straighten 1 leg out, keep 1 leg bent. You can keep your hands here or here. If you wanna add a dumbbell, go for it. We're gonna drive your back down into the floor. You can lift just the shoulders, or we'll see if I can sit all the way up, or we can sit all the way up and come back down. All right, so in 5 seconds, give or take, glute hip bridge with the crunch, hands behind the head, keeping your back pushed down into the mat. Here we go, 1 hip bridge, lift the shoulder, 1 hip bridge, good. Push through those heels, squeeze your butt, getting up onto those shoulder blades, and then lifting the shoulders up as high as you can off the floor. Good. Once we are done here, we're gonna straighten out one leg. Keep the hands behind the head, or feel free to cross them over the shoulder, over the chest. Good. So one leg straight, one leg bent. Hands can stay here, hands can come here. Lift the shoulders to sit all the way up. Choices are endless, my friends. Here we go, let's push that back down. I'm gonna see if I can sit all the way up. So by keeping one leg straight and one leg bent, it just adds a different dimension to the sit-up. Really driving that back down, really using the abdominals to lift the shoulders. Hands across the chest will be easier. Hands behind the head will be a little bit harder. Or if you want to hold on to a dumbbell, you can do that as well. I need 2 more seconds. Perfect. Switch those legs around. Same thing on the other side. And then we're gonna roll over into a side plank position. All right, here we go. Push your back down. Sit it all the way up. Or just lift the shoulders. Take your time. I am not moving very quickly with these ones. I'm really focusing on making sure I can feel those abdominals contract. My abs are lifting the shoulders. And taking my time, rolling myself back down to the floor. Now, when the timer goes, we have a side plank, leg lift. I'll show you 2 options. So you can do a modified side plank with the bottom leg bent, top leg straight. We're gonna pop it up and do a side leg lift. Option 2, both legs are straight, and then do a side leg lift. So you choose your medicine. We're gonna go in about 4 seconds. 3, 2, let's pop it up. And lift that leg. Good. You got it. Eyes are gonna be straight ahead for me. Make sure the non-working hand, keep it on your hip, bring it up to the ceiling. I just don't want it down on the floor, which is gonna close that chest off. I wanna keep you nice and open through that torso. And I need about 10 more seconds, and then we'll drop and roll, and we'll get set up on the other side. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So whatever you did on the first side, I need you to do on the second side. All right, we got 3 seconds. Modified our full side plank. Let's pop it up. Good. Lift and lower. Eyes are straight ahead for me. Bringing that leg up, if you can, at least parallel to the floor. Making sure that your toes are pointing straight ahead. I don't want your foot to externally rotate to the ceiling as you come up. It's gonna point straight ahead, right at me. We have less than 10 seconds. And then we're gonna flip it over into our high plank or push-up position. Whew. All right, high plank with the knee tuck. So we're on our hands, we're on our toes. We're gonna drive one knee in, hold for a second, set it back, other side. Here we go. Pull it in and hold. Nice. Hold. It's like our nice slow mountain climber. And as that knee comes in, that belly button comes up. And to make this move easier, elevate those hands off the floor. Find your staircase again, your coffee table, your workout bench. Other than that, nothing else changes. We have less than 10 seconds and we are back to the top. Glute hip bridge with that crunch. Perfect, flip it over. Hands behind the head. We're gonna push through the heels for that glute hip bridge. We're gonna squeeze the butt, tap it down, lift those shoulders. Squeeze, good, and lift. You got it, squeeze. Take your time with this one. I want you to feel the glutes on part 1, and then I want you to drive your back down into the mat, feeling those abs contract for part 2. We have about 5 seconds left. We have our straight leg crunch coming up. So one leg straight, one leg bent. Hands behind the head, hands can cross over the chest. You can add a weight if you like. All right, are you ready? Push your back down. Here we go, sitting it up. I have to cross in front. Roll back down under control. Good. You got it. Again, making sure that you're not swinging yourself up with the arms. So I don't want you to bring the arms down so that you can swing yourself up. Really focus on using the abdominals. I do not care if you just lift the shoulders. You do not have to sit all the way up. That will come in time as you get stronger. Let's switch those legs up for me. Hands are here, hands are here. You can add a dumbbell. Here we go. Perfect. And once we are done our one-legged sit-up, we're gonna go back into our side plank leg lifts. So we're gonna need to pick a side, left or right again, modify it or a full side plank, or do a bit of both. If you haven't done it from a full side plank, I'm gonna challenge you to do at least 1 rep from a full side plank and then drop down into the modified. Good, there it is, flip. So remember, modified, bottom leg will stay bent, full, both legs are gonna stay straight. Let's pop it up. From here, we tap or lift that leg, tap it down. Eyes are gonna be straight ahead. Make sure that non-working arm is on the hip or straight up to the ceiling. Try not to bring it down onto the floor. You got it. I need about 10 more seconds. We're gonna drop and roll. We'll get set up on the other side. We're almost there. I know these are a challenge. It's working that whole underside. It's working that top hip. In 3, 2, perfect. Drop and roll for me. Same thing on the other side. So again, I'm gonna challenge you to do at least 1 rep from the full side plank position if you can, and then drop down to the modified to finish off. It's all good. But it's taking those 1 or 2 reps to kind of push yourself with that harder version. And then over time, those 2 or 3 reps will become 4 or 5. And then before you know it, you're doing the whole time from that harder position. I need 10 more seconds. We're gonna flip back over into our high plank and we'll do those knee tucks or that slow mountain climber. 3, 2, perfect. All right, remember you can elevate your hands off the floor to make this easier. We're on our hands, we're on our toes. We're gonna tuck that belly button in, draw that knee in, set it back. I want you to hold for about a second with that knee to the chest. Really feel those abs contract. Take your time here. And when the timer goes, we gotta go through this circuit 1 more time and then we are done. Starting with that glute hip bridge with the sit up. We have less than 10 seconds left. In 5, 4, 3, 2, there it is. Flip it over, hands behind the head. We're gonna push our back down into the floor. So squeeze the butt, lift the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, lift those shoulders, good. My eyes are looking right through my knees, keeping my neck in a nice neutral position with my spine. And once we are done our hip bridge crunch combo, we have our one-legged, or one straight leg, what did I call it? One leg sit up. So straighten one leg out, keep the other leg bent. Hands can stay here, hands can come here. Feel free to add that weight. Let's push your back down into the floor. Here we go, sitting it all the way up, or just lifting the shoulders. You do not have to sit all the way up. Good. Take your time, roll it back down under control. Keeping constant tension on those abdominals. Not using the arms to swing ourselves up. Woo. 5 seconds, we get to switch those legs. Perfect, switch. And again, if you're using a weight, just make sure you keep the same weight from one round to the next. In 3, 2, here we go. Push down, set it all the way up. Good, or just lift those shoulders. Perfect, and again, there's no set number of reps you need to get done, so do not worry about your speed. Focus on control, and I want you to feel what those muscles are doing. Make that mind-body connection. And sometimes you need to slow it down to make that happen. But we only got 3 seconds left. Pop it over into your side plank position, modified or full. Side plank leg lifts, last time. All right, get ready to pop it up. Up we come, Eyes are straight ahead for me. Getting those hips up as much as you can off the floor and making sure that non-working arm is not on the floor. It's either on the hip or up towards your ceiling. Good. Now, if you need to make this easier, you simply just hold the side plank. Take the leg lift right out. I only need 10 more seconds. Finish it off with me. In 5, 4, 3, 2, perfect. Other side. And then we've only got one move left after we've done this side plank leg lift. All right, pop it up for me. Eyes straight ahead. Lifting that leg up, aiming for parallel with the floor. Keeping that nice tall posture. My eyes are straight ahead. I'm not letting my body collapse forward towards the floor. I need 15 more seconds, that is it. We're gonna flip over, hands and toes. We'll do those plank knee tucks or that slow mountain climber. We're almost there, come on. In 5, 4, 3, 2, whoo. Remember, you can always elevate your hands for this particular move as well. All right, I need 30 more seconds. That is it, let's pop it up. Hips down, tuck those abs in, pull the knee to the chest. Hold for an extra second. Take your time, keep those shoulders down, away from the ears, eyes are on your floor. Hips stay nice and square. We're not twisting the body. We're just driving the knees straight in. I need less than 10 seconds. Come on, we're almost there. And then you'll take some time, stretch it out, and you are good to go. Perfect. Come right down onto the floor, onto your stomach. Do some cobra stretches, do some child pose stretches. Feel free to go in, do some pigeon poses or figure four for those hips. Job well done today on your core conditioning. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next workout.